Well, if anybody was wondering whether or not this show can create change, whether or not we've got influence on major storylines in the world of sports.
Get him, Jonas.
Yesterday,
you did it.
Demanded that the Washington Commandos make a decision at quarterback.
Decide.
All right. Everybody figured it's got to be Jayden Daniels. They hadn't officially made the announcement yet.
You called him out.
Yeah. We turned the screws yesterday on him. All right. We put the heat on him. So much so that Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Washington Commandos, made the decision. Jayden Daniels is our starting quarterback, and here was the reasoning behind that decision.
It was a process, and when that process was time, I'd know, he'd know, and I'd let you know. And as much as we knew Jayden would get there, Adam and I were most excited about watching how he would. And the how has been absolutely outstanding. He's ready, and he's earned the right to do that.
Yep. So you're welcome, everybody. Got that done yesterday. I forced the issue, and the issue got taken care of.
Which is a better situation to have a better year, which could ultimately lead to having Rookie of the Year? Is it the Bears and Caleb in the North, or is it Jayden Daniels in the South? I think it's in the East. Excuse me. I think it's Jayden Daniels. I honestly believe that Jayden Daniels, and I've said this before the draft. This is no shade. I've said this. I believe Jayden Daniels was the best quarterback in this draft. I believe that. And that's not me shooting bias because he went to my former team. I felt as though if we were looking at what took place this past season and how it played out, I thought that Jayden Daniels was playing the best football as a football player, maybe, as a quarterback, I thought he was playing the best football. So I would pose the question to you guys. I mean, you got Dallas. I don't know what's going to happen with this whole CeeDee Lamb. I'm assuming they're going to get done with it. And then if you have CeeDee Lamb, then I feel like Dallas is the team to beat. Philly's going to be pretty dang good. So you got a top heavy team in those two teams, but imagine if Jayden Daniels is able to be competitive against those two teams in the NFC East. I mean, is it?
I guess the question would be: is it more likely Washington wins their division or Chicago wins theirs? If you're looking,
I think it's more likely neither one of them win it.
Well,
right.
It's not really a fair comparison. Because, the NFC North doesn't have – I know they have Detroit, but they don't have Philly. Like, Philly's been a top contending team for a while. I saw an interesting stat yesterday. It was, like, dating back to 2015, the amount of games teams have gone without scoring a touchdown. Philly actually had the fewest in that span. I think they've had 3 games or something like that. It was some ridiculous stat. And they were the only team, by the way, like that high. So they've been – one of the most consistent franchises, and that's a much tougher hill to climb and get over, I think, for Washington than it is for Chicago to go up against a Detroit team that we think is there. Like, we think is there, but, like, can they do it 2 years in a row? Can they get back to it? Like, that's always a big question mark. So, I mean, look, Jayden Daniels won the Heisman last year, so, your eyes aren't deceiving you, LaVar. I mean, he was the best player in college football. I said yesterday he had the best tape of any of the quarterbacks. I think he's in a better situation too in Washington. I think his ability with Cliff Kingsbury's system and the weapons they have around him are going to be better for this team this year. Now, I don't know long run as things continue to develop in Chicago, but I at least think out the gate, I wouldn't be surprised either if he didn't have a better year and this team didn't maybe compete for a wild card spot. I think that's probably their ceiling this year is a wild card spot. Only because, say what you want about Dallas' situation, once Dak's out there on the field, once this team's there, like they're going to win some football games. Like that, it's going to be Philly and Dallas for the division, and then I think it's going to be Washington somewhere maybe factoring in.
I kind of fall along that line of thought. I feel like that's pretty accurate. It's going to be tougher to have a better year if I'm the Washington Commanders than if I was Caleb Williams on the Chicago Bears. I think they're still going to have their struggles in Chicago. I really do. I think they're going to be solid on defense. I think they're going to be solid on offense. I think it's going to be a solid team, but I still need to see, is he able to adjust and adapt and be that guy once they start scheming for him? Once there's film on him as a pro, how is that going to look for him going through this season? And I think the same thing about Jayden Daniels, but with that being said, I just feel like they have they have 2 backs, they have 2 to 3 receivers, they have a decent offensive line, and their defense is going to be pretty damn good. That's what I do know. I think McLaurin, how you say it?
Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin.
By the way, most underrated player in the league.
He's pretty. He's a pretty special dude. And Dotson is a pretty. He's a great compliment. I think that with their backfield, they added Austin Eckler to that backfield, so him and Gibson will split time. I just think it's a pretty balanced team, and I think it sets the stage for Jayden Daniels, like you said, under Kingsbury's his style of calling games and his way. It's along the lines of what LaFleur and all those other guys, McDaniels, all those guys, Kyle Shanahan. It's like along the lines of like a very, very innovative new way of approaching the game and the rhythm of how they call the games. I just think that the stage is set for Jayden Daniels to have one of those years where you're like, damn,
you think I
didn't know he was that good.
You think he's Rookie of the Year?
I think he's in a really, really solid position to outplay any rookie this year. That's what I'll say.
So on DraftKings,
what's he at? Plus 250?
Plus 475.
I would take that.
No way.
Yeah.
That high?
Yeah. So Caleb Williams is a plus 135. So 100 wins you 135, and 100 would win you 475 on Jayden Daniels.
I'd take Jayden Daniels.
Who's ahead of Jayden Daniels?
Nobody. That's the gap between him and Caleb Williams.
That's the second?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big gap.
I'd take that.
Yeah,
because I think it's more so about Chicago than it is about Caleb.
Well, and also they got the Hard Knocks curse. That doesn't help either. Like, that doesn't help anybody that's on that show.
You said nail biter?
Oh. No.
What'd you say?
The Hard Knocks curse.
Yeah,
that one.
She said painted nail biter.
I don't know what are you getting at.
I don't know what you were. I was asking what you were getting at.
So I have a serious question for you guys on this. All right, I'm serious about this.
Okay.
Do you think was Dan Quinn? Do you think he was listening live to the show yesterday when I put the heat on him to make an announcement, or was it the podcast? Do you think, like when he decided?
I think somebody told him.
You think so? Word of mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Brady? Like, when do you think he got word that it was me who said you need to make an announcement?
It was me.
I'm not sure when he heard it. He most likely heard it from someone who was in the organization, maybe a staffer who then has a friend who happens to wake up early, that also has a friend that gets up early for work, that listens to the show on their drive in, but actually doesn't talk about the show to anyone. It's one of their work associates that they work with that actually ended up hearing it.
Okay,
that's 100% what it is.
Most likely, actually,
people do talk about it
to Dan Quinn.
Okay,
I don't know, man. It might have got there.
That's insulting. For you to go that direction.
People listen to the show, man. That's what I will. And people in our organization listen to this show.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, this show is the reason why Jayden Daniels is starting quarterback.
I would not undersell the value of Brady Quinn and Jonas Knox on this show. People listen
especially
to it.
in the
all
DMV.
I know is, Jonas, how'd your bets go this past weekend?
Dang.
That's irrelevant. All right, and I think he Washington. I did win one.
He did win.
All right, thankfully a hooker showed up and fought well.
Dang.
this weekend in the UFC.
They say Hooker's got a lot of fight in him.
Yeah, let me tell you, Dan Hooker put on a performance. I mean, if we're being honest,
beat a Hooker down.
He probably shouldn't have gotten the decision, so I should have been 0-5. But, the point is, I bounced back from that, and I implemented change in Washington. And people could say, well, no, it's his preseason performance. It's the way he looked in practice. No. It's because this show said,
about you?
Make a decision.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you gambling.
No.
Did you see that Phil Donahue died?
Did he?
Yeah.
Man.
88, I believe he was.
No kidding.
Yeah. A lot of people probably don't even know who Phil Donahue is. They probably think he's a coach,
Yeah. Could
Which
be.
there was a Donahue that was a coach. But
Terry Donahue?
Phil was like the first person that was saying, you're not the dad and stuff like that.
I think
you're not the father.
Terry Donahue was the head coach of UCLA. I think he went to Burbank High School.
Doesn't he have a statue at the Rose Bowl?
I think
he has a statue.
I think my mom went to high school with him.
You're right.
I think my mom went to high school with him, Burbank High. Back in the day.
Terry Donahue or Phil Donahue?
Terry Donahue. Not Phil Donahue.
Yeah, Phil is the talk show host, right?
Yeah.
He just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Damn.
R.I.P., my G. Yeah. He had a great run.
Yes, he did. He did have a great run. So, we are.
There you go.
So yeah, that's. I mean, you're welcome. Anybody that was wondering,
You did call it out, though. I mean, you did. Why are they not making Jayden Daniels quarterback?
And it got done.
And then they did it.
Yeah. It got done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, man.
Happy to help.
You want to make a bold call today? Like, what you calling out today?
Let's see.
CD Lamb? Wait. I got it.
Another one.
Call out Brandon Aiyuk. There you go. Call out the 49ers. Let's do that.
I'm glad you brought that up. This was pointed out to me by one.
Under Q's.
By one Brady Quinn. I mean, since you won it, here we go. Brandon Aiyuk update. All right. Day 813 in a row.
We need some imaging for this. It's been going on so long. We can create
Aiyuk watch. Can we just play the sound effect from Street Fighter, Aiyukin, and just play that over and over again on repeat so we can get an update? But Albert Breer, our guy that appears with us every Thursday. By the way, Pete Prisco was supposed to show up today and basically told Lee to go screw himself. Dang. So he'll be with us next Tuesday. Starting next week.
Actually, can we get Lee to tell us his exact response? I know it was probably through text message, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he called him, but I would love to know how Pete responded.
Yeah, Lee, how did that go?
He was very nice. He was a very pleasant person. He said he can't wait to meet us.
Did you talk to him on the phone?
No.
Or did you text him?
Just text.
Okay. So when you asked about showing up today, what was his response?
He said, I wish I could, but I have a previous engagement.
Dang.
But
7 a.m.?
Right.
What engagement is that?
Yeah, sleep.
Coffee?
He gave me too much information, but I will not share that over the airwaves.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
But he said, be happy to be there next Tuesday.
Hey, say it in my ear. Okay. What was the too much information? Okay.
Oh, say it to me, Lee. Hold on.
Just...
Hey, Lee, can you say it to me? Is it possible?
Wait a second. Did you just say that on the air, Lee, or was that just to me?
No, I just told it to everybody in their ear.
It sounded like it went over air, but
it did. Yeah. But who knows? But hey, listen, that's his business, and good for Pete.
I mean, I'm glad that he was happy to share that with me. In our first
he
text.
may never come on.
That was
now
literally
that
the first text he ever sent me. Yeah. So
it's important to get that stuff done.
It didn't go over if you didn't hear what he said to me.
I'm just wondering about the second time he maybe got it. But whatever. Listen, so Pete's going to be with us next Tuesday. Brandon Aiyuk update. All right, because this is what Brady has been salivating over.
Hadouken!
That's what Pete Prisco texted me back.
Can we do the Aiyukin into the breaking news sounder? Do we have the breaking news stinger and the Aiyukin drop into that? Can you guys pull that off?
Let's see if she could do it. Come on, Raina, knock this down. Oh, that
breaking news from Fox Sports.
That's strong. That's strong.
According to Albert Breer, our friend on Thursdays here from Sports Illustrated.
But it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, apparently The Steelers' offer to Brandon Aiyuk was under $28 million a year, thus forcing him to go back to the table and revisit the conversation with the Niners.
And what were they? They offered 2 draft picks?
Well, it wasn't really the draft compensation. It was what he was going to be making in a new contract.
But the Niners agreed. Oh, dang. The Niners agreed to what they were going to get as compensation. I think it was like 2 later round draft picks.
Yeah,
right?
it was just the finances. And apparently he was so underwhelmed by whatever the offer was that went back to the 49ers to
but told the Browns no.
Yeah. So
Dang.
Is still a Niner. So
I think he's got, oh no.
I think
he's got to play, man.
He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
I swear, this is like when you know your parents are full of crap when they start counting you down. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to count to 3. All right, 1, 2,
and you better get there by 3.
2.5, 2 and 3, and you're like, okay, you're not going anywhere.
Parents give you,
you're not
they give you a
anything.
nice little bit of pause in between 2 to 3 if you get there because they know they have to pay off the T's.
Like
once they get to 3.
John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have to know he's not going anywhere. Like he's going to be back here. That's why he's come back to the table because he didn't like what else is out there. Like this is the longest we know what the ending of the result is going to be transaction in NFL history. Like and to be honest with you, like I'll call my shot right now. You want a prediction right now? If you want a prediction right now, we'll be a Niner, and we'll be a Niner moving forward, and an announcement will come within the next 48 hours. Say that right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. 48 hours. Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah. So by
it's not going to come that soon.
By Thursday.
I wonder if the 49ers offer went down, though, at this point. You know, I wonder if they really want to play hardball. They could say, like, look, Brandon, we gave you every opportunity. You then wanted to seek a trade. You saw what the market has spoken for you. So, yeah, the offer we had before isn't there anymore.
I
mean, I wonder if they want to play hardball like that, or if they'll even like entertain like a shorter term extension, just to be able to get through the next 2 years, 3 years or so, or if he'd be willing to sign a longer term deal just to get the numbers up. Either way, it's just interesting because we heard John Lynch yesterday talk about how he doesn't know it's taking so long. So they must have made their offer. They must have stood strong with wherever they're at. To Aiyuk and his representation, and kind of hey, take it or leave it. This is where we're at this point. So it's kind of interesting to see how it's all going to play out.
Made their offer to who? Who they make their offer to?
Hadouken!
Oh, okay. Just wanted to be sure.
I just think at this point, Aiyuk probably stays away until week 1.
By the way, the one that's not getting talked about is Trent Williams.
I mean, that's a big one.
Is that going to get done?
That's a big one. I just would say I assume that both deals, whatever deals they're going to do, whether it's between the player, I mean, it's the player's decision or the organization, because obviously the organization doesn't have to do anything. It basically comes down to the player wanting to come back. I think it gets done by week 1. I think they just take the whole training camp off. And for what it's worth, Is it plausible to think that was the plan all along with a Aiyuk, with a Trent Williams? Because to me, if you turning down the Browns' offer, then you really aren't trying to leave. Because if they were willing to trade Amari Cooper, that means that they were going to clear up some money and probably be able to offer more than what the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to offer. You want to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but knowing anybody who knows the Pittsburgh Steelers organization knows that the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't giving out no big-ass contracts. So you're doing that already knowing that. Trent Williams, whatever he's asking for, he's probably knowing they're not going to give him the number that he's seeking. So I just wonder if that was the idea of it all along is, well, I'm going to skip preseason. I'm going to skip training camp. I'm going to skip preseason. If I get a contract, that's a bonus, and that's great. That works to my advantage. But if they don't give me a contract, at least I got to chill for a couple weeks, a month or so.
Yeah.
An extra month to my vacation. I'm just saying.
Little strategy there.
It could be a little strategy.